When I saw Thor in Avengers Endgame, I could immediately tell they were trying to portray depression. And minus the terrible fat shaming, I actually think that Marvel kind of pulled it off. Hey, this is Ike with the Tiny Mike, back with another breakdown. This time we're talking about visible signs of depression in the MCU, specifically with Thor. In Avengers Infinity War, Thor was going through it. Something a lot of people can sadly relate to, although his situation was a little bit intense. Losing his mother, then his father, learning he has a sister, that same sister trying to murder him, watching his home planet explode, seeing his best friend die, seeing his coworker get rocked by a big purple dude, watching his brother die over and over and over again, and all while going through a really long breakup. Whew, it's a lot to go through, and he even acknowledges it in this scene.
What more could I lose?
While these movies are superhero movies, I think the emotional connection that people have to these characters and the way that they can relate to them is exactly why they're so popular, or at least in my opinion, that's why. In Endgame, we see the aftermath of Thor's trauma come to light right from the start. It's clear even when he cuts off Thanos' head, sorry for spoilers, he's already dealing with a lot of self-worth issues. Since they failed to stop him in Infinity War, things exponentially get worse by the time we see him next 5 years later in Endgame. Thor's showing clear signs of depression, alcoholism, PTSD, and a whole lot of self-worth problems. He's gained a lot of weight, he's sad, he's gone down a path of using a lot of really unhealthy coping mechanisms. Something that can easily happen to any of us, especially with the whole pandemic that's still going on. However, like a lot of people dealing with mental health issues in the real world, he's still smiling. He says everything is fine and tries to deflect any assistance that's offered to him. So instead of poking fun at him like they do throughout the whole movie, they probably could have propped this up as a way to show that everyone can go through something like this, even the God of Thunder. Luckily, they did have some good moments that I can use to help drive home the positive aspects of this being shown in such a big blockbuster movie. Professor Hulk said something that I think we can all emulate whenever we're trying to support someone that's going through a tough time. I get it, you're in a rough spot. I've been there myself, and you know what has helped me out? It was you. You helped me. Obviously, you probably don't quote this to the person you're trying to help, but trying to relate to them in a respectful way. Don't try to compare your struggles, but being there for them, saying how they are strong and helpful. What Professor Hulk said is a very simple sentence of acceptance and was huge for Thor, as you probably saw in the movie, and could be huge for someone in your life. Some more good moments is how they handle him dealing with his self-worthiness. That moment with his mom and then with Mjolnir turning to his hand is really touching and is a really good reminder that no matter how far down you slip, you are still worthy. I'll say that one again. No matter how far you slip down in this world, you are still worthy. Frigga says it best. Everyone fails at who they're supposed to be, Thor. A measure of a person, of a hero, is how they succeed at being who they are. I could go on for days about how there's so much pressure in this society to be someone or to be the person your parents want you to be. So I would say it's very powerful to see this legendary superhero family saying that Thor, you can be yourself and that's okay and we accept you. And while this is a comic book movie, I think we can all still pull inspiration from it. In these huge blockbuster movies, there's always a ton of adversity, especially for Thor in this case. But no matter what happens, you can always claw your way back, which is exactly what Thor does in these movies with Thanos and also in his brand new movie, if you've seen it, against Gorr the God Butcher. And that same mentality is something that you can apply to your life. You can always claw your way back. It may not be easy, but it's something that I think everyone is capable of, especially if they have a good support system around them. That may be working on yourself personally, talking to a friend, or if you can afford it, getting professional help, like with a therapist or something along those lines. You should try therapy, it's awesome. So as usual, stay optimistic, better days are coming. If you enjoyed this kind of movie mental health breakdown, let me know in the comments and I can do about 1,000 more.